going to involve all of us in this talk.
Is it on? Yep.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's so wonderful to be back here. I have missed you all so much. And I have gotten to see a lot of you in our tea room, and we appreciate all of your love and support over the past 2.5 years. It has been an interesting journey at the tea room, and we are so glad that we are still here after everything that we've been through. And I was so fortunate to have our staff, which stayed with us the entire time. We did not have to let go of any of our staff, which was really important to me as a business owner, because I wanted them to understand that they are just like my family. So I want to take a second and to thank them. Dawn McDonald's, our tea hostess. And Christina Jacobs is our kitchen. She's like our assistant in the kitchen and helps run the tea room. And then you don't see her right now because she's making sure that the teapots are full, but that's my mom is in the back. And it's truly a family affair for us at the tea room. She does all of our shopping and the stuff I don't like to do. That's what moms are good for, making sure that we get everything done. Fine. So Cindy asked me to do a little talk. Last time we did a talk, we did a talk about the 7 myths of tea. And I figured that since we have all been so focused on health for the past 1.5, 2 years, that we would talk a little bit about tea and health. But in order to make this a little bit more fun, instead of me just standing here talking, I'm going to have y'all help me with it to keep it a little bit more interactive. So, 3 words that I'm going to say, and there's 3 actions to them. On this side of the room, when I say the word health, you're going to clap your hands. So, tea and health. Okay, all right. So we can just clap once, you'll be perfect. I mean, you can clap all day, that's good too. All right, in the middle here, our middle table's here. When I say the word caffeine, you're going to go, shh. You don't like to talk about caffeine. So, all right. So tea has caffeine. All right. All right. And it's very healthy for us. Oh, come on, guys. It's going to be a long talk. All right. Over here on my left-hand side, the word antioxidants, which we like to talk about with health too. And when we say antioxidants, we're going to snap. All right, like snap, snap. Antioxidants are good. All right. All right, so we know that tea is healthy, that it has caffeine, and that it has antioxidants. All right. So now it's time you have to pay attention because we're going to mix it up a little bit. A little bit about the history of tea. Tea was actually discovered as a health benefit. If they don't do it, you can help them. All right. So what happened was, thousands of years ago, we all had people that would do herbals and things like that for medicine. And there was this emperor, his name was Shang Yang, and he was traveling through China. And he was having a little bit of a stomach issue, and so he decided to stop and have boil some water and put some herbs in that and make something to drink to help his stomach. Well, lo and behold, to him, he was sitting underneath a tea tree. And while the water was boiling, some of the leaves fell into the pot of tea. Unbeknownst to him, he started to drink it, and all of a sudden he felt a little bit better. And that's when he realized that tea was healthy for us to drink. See, it makes it a little more fun. Now, after he discovered the benefits of tea and being healthy, don't worry, they're going to get their turn. It started to be used as a tonic, okay? And then it eventually went into apothecaries, and then eventually it turned into what we now drink today on a regular basis, which is kind of strange for coming from a tonic or strictly medicinal purpose. And back then, in those days, when it was discovered, they would actually chew the leaf instead of steeping it like we do today. So, a couple of little things about tea. Tea comes from one tea plant. So when you're talking about black tea, green tea, white tea, pu'er, yellow tea, oolong, it all comes from the same plant. It all depends on how it's processed. So I think that's really an interesting thing, because where else can you have a plant that makes like 7 different things that are totally different from each other with one leaf? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about caffeine in tea. Because nobody likes to talk about caffeine. Because caffeine can be good. In a green tea, a cup of green tea, the average caffeine content is about 20 milligrams per cup. On the black tea side, caffeine can be 37 to about 40 milligrams. Now, if you take that into consideration, an average cup of black coffee has 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. So even though tea does have caffeine, it is much different than coffee caffeine is. Look at them get their turn. On the antioxidant side, this is how I was getting ready this morning. I'm like, how can I make this interactive? They could do actions words. Makes it a little more fun. Okay, so antioxidants. Antioxidants are typically found in the tea leaf. Once we steep it, it goes into the liquid. And those antioxidants get into our bloodstream. And they actually target cells in our bodies that have been damaged. And what it does is that antioxidant attaches itself to those cells and then helps them replenish or get healthy again. So, see? You had to wake you up a little bit after that meal. We got one table. Good job. So that's a little bit about the health side with the caffeine and the antioxidants. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of the types of tea real quick, and maybe some of the benefits that you might be looking for. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a doctor. I do a lot of reading and research on tea. I attend conferences all the time. I just got done with the conference at UC Davis in Berkeley, where we discussed all the different benefits of tea that are taking place through research around the world. It's amazing what one plant can do. And so we know we have these opportunities in nature to use them, and that's why I'm such a proponent of tea and the benefits for health. Just going to slide that in there, see if they're paying attention. Okay, so a couple of things about tea. We have different types of tea that come from the same plant. Do we have anybody in here that enjoys white tea? A couple. White tea is kind of not really well known as much as the blacks and the greens because we tend to focus on those more on the commercial side. So a lot of your big tea distributors have blacks and greens, but they don't usually do white. White is the hardest tea to make because it is strictly pulled off the bush and it's dry. So no matter what's happening in that tea farm, that flavor is coming through to those leaves. So there's not a lot of processing, there's not a lot of control over white tea. It tends to be nice and floral, which is nice. It tends to be high in antioxidants, low in caffeine. I'm so excited this is working. Doesn't take much these days. Some of the benefits of white tea is that because of the antioxidant concentration in that tea, it is very good for being anti-cancer or cancer fighting. You're also finding it's very calming. So with all the stress we've been under, if you haven't tried a cup of white tea, I recommend it. And it is also detoxifying for the skin. So a lot of times you see new beauty products come out and they'll say they have tea in them. They usually have a white tea extract, which is perfect because it helps with like sagging skin and it helps with brightening you up. So, and it is 100% more effective in mopping up free radicals, which makes the skin not so pliable. All right. Any green tea drinkers in here? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Green tea has its amazing health benefits as well. Okay, y'all. You might have to help them out. Green tea is actually the oldest of the tea leaves. It's the second least processed. So after the leaves come off the bush, that's when they go into processing, and that's how we get green tea. It's a very, very simple process. Well, I say it's simple because I watched them do it. It's not so simple. We have tea masters that have been 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th generation making tea, and it's not simple, but this is the second easiest tea to make. And so it goes through a really simple process. It's withered, which is a drying process. It's de-enzymed, and then it goes into a rolling process and it's dried. So it's very, very simple. And the leaves, like I said, they were first eaten and they were consumed as herbal medicine. And, oh no, we didn't talk about it. Oh yeah, no, we're getting there. All right, green tea benefits. So, one of the biggest questions we get asked in the tea room is about caffeine. Right. So caffeine in green tea tends to be on the lower side of that spectrum at 10 to 20 milligrams, which is still very, very good. It's an excellent source of polyphenols and antioxidants. They got the hard ones. It's hard to snap loud. It's used actually for several different things, and you find the extract of green tea in a lot of medicines and that. So here's a short list that we got from UC Davis last week. It is used to minimize the effects of Crohn's disease, diseases of the heart, blood vessels, diabetes, low blood pressure, kidney stones, and more. You can also use green tea if you have it, if you get a sunburn, you put it on your skin, it cools the skin, and it's really good for puffiness under the eyes. So if you don't have a cucumber, we all have a bag of tea, you can put it under your eyes and it'll help with puffiness or swelling. Bet you didn't know that. I'm gonna start getting pictures of tea bags. Under their eyes, I can tell. It is ultra high in antioxidants, like ultra high. There is more research done today on green tea and the health benefits than there is any other type of tea. One person. Thank you. Thank you. She knows who I'm talking to. All right, so any black tea drinkers in the group? Wow, we have more green tea drinkers. That's exciting. That's a first. Black tea is probably the most popular. I mean, the queen drinks black tea, of course, Earl Grey. And so it's one of the most popular teas types, actually the most popular tea type. But green tea is starting to gain a lot of traction with that because of the health benefits. Okay, you feel like you want to help them out now. I'm really serious. All right, black tea is withered, just like green tea. However, before it goes into the processing part, it's actually rolled. So what it does is it breaks all the cells up in that leaf, and that's what turns it black or dark. So the same leaf, just a little bit different process, keeping it all the same. Now, the benefits of black tea are, if you're needing that boost in the morning, and we've all seen that person that has caffeine, black tea is great in the morning. It's going to have about 40 to 50 milligrams of caffeine, so it gives you that little bit of boost. Now, the difference between caffeine in coffee and caffeine in tea, see, they got it, is it releases into your bloodstream differently. So a lot of times, people come and they'll say to me, oh my gosh, I don't want to drink caffeine, I want to drink black tea, because it gives me that jitteriness. Caffeine in coffee releases into your bloodstream very quickly. Tea releases in your bloodstream very slowly, so that you start to get that little bit of a peak, but it lasts a lot longer. So I don't know about you, but if I drink caffeine, which I haven't had any today, but if I drink some after 3 o'clock, I'm up till 3 a.m. because the caffeine stays in your system longer. It is medium in antioxidants, so you're still getting a little bit of that health benefit from them as well. They're getting better. It also, black tea has been shown to help with heart health issues. It may lower your bad LDL cholesterol and reduce blood pressure, risks of stroke, and reduces blood sugar. It's interesting how this one leaf that's processed different ways can have totally different benefits based on whether it's white, green, or black. Okay, real quick on herbals, because we get a lot of questions about herbal teas. Herbal teas are not tea, they don't contain the camellia sinensis leaf, but they are still healthy for us. And those include anything, I just had to laugh. They're ready for their nap. It can be anything from chamomile, peppermint, ginger, turmeric, goes on, and it is caffeine-free. Yes. Also includes rooibos, which is a tea that is grown in South Africa. It's called red tea, and that is herbal as well, so that's kind of nice. The nice thing about the herbals, because we do get a lot of questions about them, is they're very high in vitamin C, and they aid in preventing the common cold, something we all got to work on, improving mood and brain function, and herbals tend to also brighten our skin tone, which is really something. Being in Florida, we're lucky. We get a lot of vitamin C and D outside. They contain very powerful photochemicals that can be used to prevent damages to the cell and inflammation too. So if you haven't checked out herbals, we suggest you do that too. They are, depending on the herbal, they can have antioxidants. Most of the time, they're dealing with polyphenols. They're calling to my middle group, man, you're off. I'm just kidding, everybody's off. All right, so a couple things to remember about tea. Tea without milk, sugar, honey, or anything in it is 0 calories. So that makes it the most healthy beverage that you can drink besides water. Tea is not significantly less different than water because tea actually contains like 99% water. So hydration is critical, obviously, to our health. They're gonna get it now. This is all about them. And I don't know if you know about hydration helps us regulate our body temperature. It helps us prevent infection, and it delivers all nutrients to our cells. So it's very important to stay hydrated, and tea can help you do that. So, tea is a delicious drink containing caffeine, antioxidants that help us stay healthy in any way. But they won't get to the end. Now they're redeeming themselves. Yes. All right. So that's my information I have about tea and health and caffeine and antioxidants. All right. I do have one thing before I go, and we actually will be out front here. I did bring a sample for everybody, so when you come out, you have a choice of a green tea, a black tea, or an herbal tea. We have 3 different bags, so you just tell us what you want. You can pick one out. There's a variety. They're tea bags, so they're very, very simple to use. If you don't know if I use them, let me know. I'll be happy to tell you. And if I can have Miss Cindy Webb come up for a quick second. This lady and I have a lot of conversations throughout the year. And I think I bug her a lot. We're on Facebook and email and everything. We gotta go on. On behalf of the White Heron, we want to thank you for all you do for our community. And as a part of our community and what we do, we want to give back a little bit to your organization. So this is a check from us to help with your mission this year. And as you know, if you need anything else, you just let us know, because we want to take care of our community like you guys are taking care of us. Thank you. They saw their shadow.
This is true. Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, okay, so the gentlemen have a request that we discuss tea cozies for your teapots. Just so you know, a tea cozy is a little cloth, like a jacket that goes over your teapots. And we have them available at the White Heron if you ever need them. I think they might have burnt their hands a little. We're used to it because we pour tea every day. But
the tea warm.
oh, and they're very true on this, keeping the tea warm. So the problem with tea is we bring it in at about 200 degrees. And when it hits the cold china, it instantly drops 10 to 15 degrees. And then when it hits your cup, it instantly drops again 10 to 15 degrees. So as you went on throughout the day, the tea gets warmer. It's because it's going into cold. And typically in our tea room, we prime the teapots first, so that when they come out to your table, they've been primed with hot water, and then they've had their tea put in. And after that, so they're not taking in that cold from the china. So that makes perfect sense as to why they want me to mention tea. It wasn't because they burned their hands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, White Heron.